Hi, welcome to a la carte cooking. Today, we're making pasta. But first, since it's pasta day, it's an Italian style dish, right? So why don't we start with an amaro? The Pogette Amaro. Here you go, take a look at it. What's more Italian than drinking Italian liqueur while you're cooking stuff? Well, there we go. Now this smells amazing. It's herbal, maybe a little bit licorice. It's floral. It's fantastic. That'll go perfect with our pasta. Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to make pasta using your Vitamix. It's a two-step process. We're going to measure out all of our ingredients, we're going to grind it all, and then we're going to make a dough. So let's get to the ingredients. What you'll need are 2 eggs, semolina flour, a measuring device to measure 200 grams of flour, and a Vitamix. Oh joy, time to make pasta. So, first we're going to start with 200 grams of semolina flour. Now, you can use all types of flour. You can use regular table flour. You can use doppio flour, which is 00 flour from Italy. Super fine ground, wonderful. But for this purpose, we're using a Vitamix because I want to explain how you can grind your own flour. The semolina flour that you can buy at your local store is very gritty. It's almost like a cornmeal, and it's not really great as a pasta dough ingredient as is. So we have to grind it first. But for pasta, if you're cooking for 4 people, you want to do about 200 grams of flour and 2 eggs. So the ratios are 100 grams per egg per 2 people. So if you're cooking for 4, it's 200 with 2 eggs. Very simple math. So the scale here is fantastic to use. It's a Vitamix scale. And we are going to switch it over to grams. You can use ounces, pounds, but I like to do grams here. So we're going to measure out 200 grams of this flour. Now it's very difficult for me to read upside down, so I'm kind of just going off of when we get to 100, great, and then I'm going to do it again. All right, so we're at 100. There's 1. Almost there, almost there. 190. All right, that looks close enough. 200. Does it have to be exact? No. Depends on the size of your eggs. If you have very small eggs, dial it back. If you have very large eggs, like ostrich eggs, you're out of luck. I don't know how to help you. All right, so first things first, we're gonna grind up this flour. Now you don't wanna put everything in here all at once because it's just gonna be too much for the machine to really grind it up effectively. So we wanna do it in stages. I always like to say about a 1/4 cup at a time. And that's kind of a nice setup. And what you can do is, with the timer here, you set it for about a minute, you turn it on, you let it run. You come back, you take that and you put it into another bowl, and then you keep doing the process until you have everything ground. It's about a 5-minute process. So we're gonna do a little bit of movie magic and you don't have to watch all 5 minutes. So let's turn this on. We're gonna get the timer. We're gonna go to about 55 seconds. Turn it on, go to high, and walk away. And just enjoy the sweet nectar of Italian liqueur. All right, so after it's done, you're gonna have a mess of me putting everything everywhere, but you're gonna get very fine flour. You just wanna kind of get it out, put it in a bowl. Looks so small, but here's what's kind of cool. Check this out. Very different looking. This is the ground, this is the unground. You can see how it's a little bit whiter because it's finer. So let's do it again. see, we'll increase a little bit. There we go. Go to 55. 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at that, how it's done. Movie magic right there, I tell you. All right, you can see it's very fine. It's almost, it's like a cloud of dust. Getting closer. We're getting there. Now, it doesn't have to be that everything comes out of the machine, because guess what? It's all gonna go right back in. And that's fine. We're just doing this to get everything a little bit more nice and fine so it can actually make dough that you wanna use. So we're gonna do 2 more of these. Let's do it all. Why not? There we go, done. Done, break the rules, who cares? It'll work. Last time. Let's go 105 this time. I'll be a little bit lighter on taking the lid off this one. Don't inhale that. It's not good. Okay, so we're getting all the flour out. Now the reason I'm doing that is we want to put the eggs in first. When you're making dough in the Vitamix, you always want to put your liquid ingredients in first. It's just going to work better. It breaks up the yolk and the egg whites and emulsifies it with the actual flour to make dough much more effectively than going backwards. If you put in the flour first and then the egg, it's never really going to work that well. Can it work? Yeah, possibly, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, simple. We just crack the eggs right into here. Oh, but not the shell. Egg number 2. In it goes. No shell. All right. Did it right this time. Okay. So you can see we have our egg in here. Now we're just going to take this and we're going to drop that right on inside. Bam, in it goes. All the flour. Now when you make the dough in here, you're just going to keep it very low speed. You don't want to turn this up. You want to keep it very low. It's going to more knead the dough than actually blend it. We're not trying to make a smoothie out of this. Right? You just want to turn it on, and you'll see that it starts to actually create a dough-like consistency. You can see how it's building up right here. You just kind of want to crank it up just a little bit, just so it actually mixes it all together. Look at that, huh? Now, if you want to worry about cleaning off the sides, you can, but otherwise, this is probably going to be about done in another 10 to 15 seconds. And you can hear the motor. Maybe want to increase a little bit. And that's it. 40 seconds, you got dough. Look at that, huh? Rock on. Now, just to make sure everything is good, you take it out. Get all the little pieces out here. And you can knead it just to make sure all is well and fine. Now, when you take it out of the machine after 40 seconds like that, you're gonna feel that it's warm. Okay, that's totally fine. What you're going to want to do then is you're going to want to wrap this up in saran wrap and let it rest in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. What that's going to do is it's going to, one, let everything kind of marry together, but also it's just not going to be hot and it's better for the dough. Okay, so we're going to wrap that up in a little bit of saran wrap. And then I'll show you how to roll it out and make a little bit of a noodles. Saran wrap, bam, into the refrigerator. And then you take 30 minutes, do whatever you want. Me, I'm gonna enjoy this more. Nice little gift I gave myself. It's supposed to be magnetic. There we go. Look at that, isn't that just so nice? There's a little bit more of this nectar of the gods. Look at that. It's like dragon saliva. Awesome. Cheers. Yeah, nice and cold. All right, well, this is where the fun now begins. Well, no, sort of. The fun has been awesome so far. So, we're gonna take this dough. Now, it's cooled down. You can tell it's a little moist as a result. We can just make sure it's all nice and mixed together, or kneaded, I should say. Now, when you roll this out, you can do it a couple ways. We like to use a KitchenAid with a pasta roller attachment. Makes things very easy, very quick. You can be very precise on how thick you're doing it. But since I'm not gonna assume everybody has one of these machines, so we're gonna go a little old school. We're using a rolling pin. Mind you, I never use a rolling pin myself, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna use a rolling pin. I'm gonna get something that holds that down a little bit better here. All right. Get that right under here. That's a little bit better. So I like to have a little bit of flour down here for us to work with so it doesn't stick. All right, we're gonna take a small amount from here. We're gonna roll it out. Yes. Mind you, again, I'm gonna reiterate this. I really don't know what I'm doing rolling with a rolling pin. But we're gonna go for it, okay? I know generally how thick this needs to be by the time it's done, and we're gonna try and get there. All right. You might be seeing me do this for a few minutes, so it might be a sped up process, who knows? A little more flour on here. Nice. We're gonna cut this in half because it is getting a little bit too large for my rolling pin to effectively do this. This is about, if you can see that, we're gonna go probably half that thickness. So, fairly thin. It's like 1-ply cardboard maybe, I don't know. Man, this is a lot of work. If you have a machine, use the machine. This is way too much work to do with the roller. Oh my God, and then you can ruin it all. All that hard work and it's just gonna come tumbling down in one fell swoop. Not good. It'll be okay. All right, we're gonna go a little bit more thinner. And this is kind of a personal preference, really. You know, if you really like thick noodles, like if you're doing lasagna with this, this is fine. Use that for lasagna. But when you're doing like a pasta that you want to make with a carbonara sauce or a red sauce or a creamy sauce, you kind of want a little thinner. But what's cool about doing your own pasta is cooking times. Because traditionally when you buy pasta from the store, it's dry. And cook times are, I don't know, 8 minutes maybe? I don't know, I don't even know when the last time I cooked store-bought pasta is. Well, I'm gonna say 8 minutes. With this, at boiling water, 90 seconds. It's extremely fast. And you're gonna wanna just do 90 seconds because otherwise you're gonna overcook the pasta. And this is very easy to overcook. And I kind of feel like this might be a good thickness. Ah, yeah. See, there we go. You see how thin that is in comparison? I think it looks good. It's pretty darn good. Now, you can keep it long like this. It's a really long pasta. I'd recommend probably cutting it in half and throwing your rolling pin off the countertop at the same time. Now, here's the fun part. You can choose the thickness of the width of your pasta. What I like to do is I'll take it, flour. Now remember, just use flour. Always use, when in doubt, use flour, because you don't really want the pasta to be sticking to itself and everything like that. But we can fold this pasta up, just like this, see? All the flour. And then you fold it up, and fold it up again. And, ready? This is the cool part. You can do, I'm just gonna, for example purposes, you can do very thin. And you can have really cool pasta like this. And it's, oh, so nice. It's almost like a spaghetti. Or you can do thicker. And you have pasta like that. Or you can do really thick pasta. And you got pasta like that. I don't know what you're gonna use this for, but you know, you have all of these various options when you can just make your own pasta at home. You don't have to go to the store and choose one. You have all the options at hand. But I'm gonna be doing this for the next 5-10 minutes, and I'm gonna make some pasta of my own. But hey, if you guys have any questions on how this is, how to use the Vitamix to really make the good fine dough, by all means, ask in the comments. We will answer. And it's not hard, right? If you have regular flour, use regular flour. You don't need semolina flour. You can use this type of flour. In fact, if you had both, you can combine the two. It doesn't matter. Still comes down to the same ratios. 100 grams, 1 egg for 2 people. Super simple. And if anybody's vegan, you can use water, but that's gonna be on a different episode. So, thank you guys for coming. Make sure you smash that like, hit the subscribe, and keep joining and drinking with us.